Hello everyone, this is the first of a few different videos I'm going to make about COCA. The first video is going to introduce what COCA is and do a basic search and try to find the answer to a basic question using COCA. So what is COCA? It's not Coca-Cola, unfortunately, and it's not the drug cocaine. It's neither one of those things, and it's not related to either one of those. And did you know that the drug and the cola actually are related? So that's interesting. That's an interesting fact from history. Look it up on Wikipedia because it's an interesting story. Anyway, I'm going to talk about COCA, the website, and it's pretty easy to find if you don't know where to find it. If you look up COCA on Google, it'll be one of the first hits. You can also just go to this website. It looks like this. So, COCA is a website that you can use to find the kind of information that a dictionary or a translator does not give you, right? So your first language translator or even a dictionary in English like dictionary.com does not give you the same kind of information as COCA. And COCA is very, very useful for finding other kinds of information. So let's try to find something about this word regardless. I don't know if you know this word. You can look it up in your dictionary. It'll tell you it's something like the word but or something like the word however. It's used to show contrasts between different ideas. But we're going to find out how to actually use this word in COCA. So ignore all this for now. Just type regardless. If you're doing this with me, type regardless and then hit search. And what do we get? Okay. So, this does not look like a dictionary, right? It did not tell us the meaning. All we got is the word plus something called frequency and per million. Okay, so here, let me tell you what COCA even is. It's a website that's a collection of samples of real-world language use. It's not written by dictionary writers. It's not written by people who write textbooks. Okay, it's really just a collection of real-world language use from a variety of places. It's maintained by this university in Utah, northern Utah, and it's free at first. After a few searches, you will need to create an account, unless you're in one of my classes, in which case you get a free login. And the university pays for that, so consider yourself lucky. Anyway, so let's try to find out a little bit more about this word regardless. Again, we don't know the meaning, but we can find out a lot about how to use it. If we click here, it'll actually show us the sentences that this came from. And again, these are all real-world language samples. So these are not written by professional dictionary writers. Somebody on the internet or in a book or on TV or something actually said this or wrote it. Okay? So I'm going to try to look for some patterns. What do you see before? I wish that would stop coming up. Get out of my way. That's not going to move. Okay, and what comes after? What comes before? If I'm looking at the samples, I don't really see a pattern. There are a lot of verbs. Sometimes it comes at the beginning of a sentence, but other than that, I mean, it seems like a lot of different things. But after the word, if you look at the examples, you'll see of, period, of, period, of. It seems like there are a lot of ofs and a lot of periods. And that tells me something about how to use this word. Okay? This is where the fact that these are real-world examples becomes really useful because I can know exactly how many people are using the word this way. And a dictionary doesn't tell you that. Right? Okay, so let's try and find out if my idea about how to use regardless is right, because I think if you use regardless, the next word is probably going to be of, but I want to check to make sure I was right about that. So I'm going to click on search again. I don't want to click back. You don't click back on COCA for some reason. You just click search. Search. Regardless. I'm going to search for regardless star the. The star means anything. So any word will come here, okay? And I'm going to search for regardless, and then any word, and then the, and it's going to give me a list of words that could come here. Okay. So here, the star just again means any word. It can also be a comma or a period in COCA. The space is very important. Okay. If I have a space here, it's going to look for regardless and then another word. That's what I want. And then another word, the. If I don't have the space, I'm going to show you what I get. If I don't have the space, it's going to look for words that start with regardless. For the word regardless is the number one hit. And then all these other words that are basically like typing mistakes. I don't know what that is. These are other things that people typed that started with the word regardless, right? So this is all one word. Okay, and that's not what I want. I want to find regardless and then another word and then the. Again, these are 3 different words. Okay, so I'm going to search for this and see what I get. And I see a lot of choices for what can come in the middle. Again, the middle could have been anything, right? And it looks like I was right. Regardless of the is the number one hit. Regardless of the is number 1. Regardless comma the is the second most common. But these numbers are very important here. The frequency is how many times this sequence of words was found in the whole collection of words. And COCA has more than 1 billion words in it, right? So these 3 were found together almost 7,000 times. It doesn't sound like a lot out of 1 billion, but that is a lot. This, regardless comma the, is only about 400. That's almost 20 times less than regardless of the. Okay? So, regardless of the is by far the most common way of using the word regardless and then something and then the. Okay? So basically I was right. I thought regardless of was the most common, and it is the most common. So if I'm typing a paper and I use the word regardless, the next word will probably be of. If I want to sound natural, I want to use of there. Okay. So this just explains what I just explained, right? And if I want to know more, I can still click on this highlighted sequence of words, and it'll show me which sentences actually had this sequence in it. Okay, so a focus on that which could move us forward regardless of the slip-ups in the past. So this is telling me who, not who, but what kinds of sentences this actually occurred in. Okay, I'm not particularly interested in this right now, but there are a lot of times where you will use a word in COCA and you'll definitely want to see the kind of sentences it occurred in, right? Okay, so back to this. And I think I'll stop here for this video. I'll put another kind of search in the next video, so look out for that.